Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that if you are sitting above a voting card or a challenge board, please fill in the challenge board with a subject like the improvised material. The show is about to start.
Do it. I love that.
Yeah, technology.
Do you want it to be tough or do you want it to be interesting? Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the creator of Comedy Carnage and the host of tonight's LOLBOT Wars. It's me, Elliot Wengler! The original theme tune nicked from the original series of Robot Wars 1997 copyright mentioned media, but no cited composer, so that's fine. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well! It's December, ladies and gentlemen. We're nearly at Christmas. We're nearly at Star Wars. You're consistently excited for both Christmas and branded Disney content. Excellent. So, good evening, my name's Elliot, and tonight I'm hosting a show called LOLBOT Wars. Now, for those of you who here has seen live comedy before? Who here is familiar with the BBC Two documentary series from the late 90s and early noughties called Robot Wars? Some of you. That's fine. More of you will become familiar as the night goes on. For those of you who don't know what Robot Wars is, it was a game show from the late 90s, hosted by Craig Charles. Any Craig Charles fans in? one very confused man at the back who said, which one was he again? For those of you who don't remember which one Craig Charles is, he's the one out of Red Dwarf, Coronation Street, crack cocaine, that guy. He hosted Robot Wars, which was a beautiful show. I loved it so much as a kid. I recorded every episode on VHS. I never missed it. I went to see it live 3 times. I missed school for it to go see it live once. It was great. My dad considered that's an important part of my education. And for those of you who aren't familiar, it's basically robots fighting each other to death. Basically, a bunch of nerds and mechanics in the north couldn't be bothered to argue outside the pub anymore. So what they did was they got robots to do it for them, and it was beautiful. And it was beautiful for 2 reasons. Firstly, Craig Charles was hosting. It was over the top, confusing, and nonsensical. For example, he would end every single episode of Robot Wars, without fail, with a poem. Are we familiar with this? For those of you who don't know much about Craig Charles' hosting of the original Robot Wars, he ended every episode with a poem for some reason. It would be something, these mechanics and nerds have fought so hard, sweat and toil and blood, and they've really gone for it, and expensive pieces of robot all over the arena, and then suddenly, Craig Charles would just look at the end, he's hearing his time out on his receiver, and he just goes for it, and just goes, well, tonight we've seen Pussycat's sharpest claws, because they're through the semi-finals of Robot Wars. Bye-bye. Just look at losing his ability to piece of camera halfway through, and for some reason feeling the need to summarise the whole thing with a poem. There was one occasion when the German team and the English team had a draw by a judge's decision. It was the first draw in Robot Wars history. But Craig Charles is a genius and improvises on the spot. He goes for it and just goes, for international relations, that fight ensures that all is fair on Robot Wars. But it's international relations theory satirised in a battle between 2 shitty robots. It was beautiful. I'd like to think there's an alternate history, another timeline where Craig Charles was in the real wars as well as the Robot Wars. I'm not saying they weren't real, it's just that there were some other more mainstream ones. You might go for the First World War, any fans in? I'm always wondering when that does get a cheer. Any fans of mass murder of the working classes? Let's hope not. The temptation to a Brexit joke, but let's leave it there. I like to think there's also a timeline. Craig Charles is in the First World War, and he did some poetry in the trenches that ended up being in my 2007 GCSE syllabus. You know what I mean? Those poetry anthologies you have to study for no reason whatsoever because you use definitely all the rest of your life in the workplace. I never used them once again, but Craig Charles was maybe if Craig Charles had done, might be paying much more attention. Arms to stay. The guns go silent. Craig Charles looks around. He senses its moment. He climbs on over the trench, looks around, and just loudly declares, us Tommies dying in the trenches, that the generals ignore. That's what we got in the First World War. Bye-bye. It would have made English a much better subject at GCSE level, let's face it. Soldiers all over the place. What the fuck fuck is he doing? And then Craig Charles would have maybe been like a poet and a playwright throughout the 20s, like R.C. Sheriff, and he would have been there maybe in the 30s, become poet laureate, and then by some of the 40s, Craig Charles is poet laureate, and he's best mates with Prince Winston Churchill because he knows where to get good drugs from. And on the eBay, Craig Charles looks around. He senses his moment again. Churchill's doing that classic thing on the balcony. Craig Charles goes over and nudges him and says, I've got this, lads, I've got this. We fought them on the beaches. We fought them on the shores. But drunk old Churchy, gone and won the Second World Wars. Bye-bye. Fantastic moment in history, guys. The other thing that I adored about the original Robot Wars, and in fact, when they brought it back, is the one thing they kept, which was the best thing ever, was Jonathan Pierce's commentary. Jonathan Pierce, for those you don't know, is this football commentator that somehow got drafted into Robot Wars, and he's a genius because he makes these robots that can barely move forward sometimes sound like the most violent machines in the world. And he would remind you every 3 or 4 seconds about the judging criteria of style, control, damage, and aggression. He would judge every few seconds. He'd be saying something like, oh, there goes Razor again, using good style. Don't forget this is being judged on style, control, damage, and aggression, as I reminded you before the advert break, and reminding you as soon as we come back. In fact, there were 3 style adverts. Anyway, there goes Razor again. He's going into the far corner now. He's getting hit by the house robots. That's very poor control. But then goes Gemini. Oh, but Gemini's thrown into the pit. It's not going to go to the judges. That's what the judges judged it on, style, control, damage, and aggression. I just think that we should be using that judging criteria everywhere, much more. For example, if we use that judging criteria perhaps for my dating life, I would definitely work much harder there. Oh, there goes Elliot again. He's gone for an all-bar-one for that first dance, that first date. That's a very stylish move indeed. He's got good control. But now he's got nervous and taken her for a walk in the forest. They've walked through the middle of the forest and they're sat down. He's resorting to truth or dare. There is no control whatsoever here. And now he's pushing her into the river. Oh, that's far too much damage. He's done far too much damage indeed. That's far too much aggression. It's absolutely. She's fallen to the pit though. It's not going to go to the judges. maybe most important, but maybe most desperately, we need Jonathan Pierce's commentary and judging criteria on Prime Minister's Question Time. Imagine how many more young people would watch politics if that was the case. Imagine next time Jeremy Corbyn gets up there to shout about so Maria's social care cuts. He gets up there. I've got an email from Maria about social care cuts in Nottingham South. And in goes Jeremy Corbyn again. He's using very good control there. That's good style, winning audience points for using an audience question. But in comes Theresa May now. She's using the pickaxe, and the pickaxe is bludgeoned into the middle of Corbyn's head. He's being pushed into the far back corner. In comes the House robot. In comes the Speaker, John Bercow. Order. And Conservative polling points are falling into the pit. There's going to go to a snap election. There's going to have to go to the judges. Way more young people watch politics that way. And style control, damage, and aggression is something that I think we should be using to judge not just dating and politics, but comedy as well. Because I've never actually won any comedy competitions yet. So I thought, instead of, because they're usually done by an act coming up, loads of acts come up, loads of them do 5 minutes, they go away again, one with the funniest mustache or most friends wins, or sometimes the talented one wins. But clearly not, because I haven't gone through yet, right guys? But anyway, I thought I'd create my own comedy competition, and I found a way to judge comedians on style, control, damage, and aggression. I'm going to have 4 of the finest acts in comedy come up here, do material for your pleasure, do some of their favourite and their best material for you. And then you're going to judge them as they fight head-to-head in LOLBOT Wars. How would the comedians fight head-to-head? Good question, guys, good question. There's 3 ways I think comedians would do that. Firstly, comedians are good at putting hecklers down, they're good at putting the audience down. Can they put each other down? They're going to have to insult, if they choose a battle of words, they'll have to insult each other into emotional submission or your vote. Whoever surrenders first, or you guys all decide. There's another way they can be judged, and that's with wits, and that's where you guys come in. Under 3 of your chairs, but once you came in, were 3 whiteboards. On those whiteboards, hopefully you've written down something, anything at all, and the acts will have to do material based on it or riff on it somehow. Whoever does it best wins. Can I have those whiteboards brought in at this point so the acts can see what we've got here? We've got, for this one, oh my god, that's not ideal at all. Yeah, that's more ITV. That's less. That's much more ITV one than this is. This is. I don't know if BBC Three would do that these days. And what we got here? Oh, that's a lovely one. That's for CBeebies. Good. So for all 3. So acts. If acts, just pay attention. If you want to do a battle of wits and prove you can do material faster than anyone else, then your 3 subjects tonight are seagulls. One slight woo. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah! Some Dwayne fans in. And I don't know if I can bear to read this out on a comedy show. I mean, well, let's assume it's a different person to the famous one with the longer name. Kev Spacey is the first. Some deranged man gave me that one. I'm going to put these over here in the actual choose. Seagulls, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Spacey. Oh, God help us. And so, audience, under 5 of your chairs are little voting cards. Or on them or under them, there should be. Can you just hold them all up for me very quickly? Just show me what them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe no one's sat on that seat. I've got a spare one up here. We'll give this one to 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. We'll use that one. Lovely. Okay. So we've got 5 voting cards. The 5 of you picked up your cards. You are the judges. Give applause to the judges, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are judging the show tonight. If I ask for red, please show me red. If you want the act in the red corner to win, hold up the red. If you want the act in the blue corner to win, hold up the blue. You guys will be deciding if these guys win tonight's LOLBOT Wars trophy. Now, are there any questions at this point?
What does the trophy look like?
You'll see if I finish making it by the end of the show. That's my And we can thank, and the reason that there's been that slight format change that I was desperate to add at the last minute is because Amazon Prime were not successful in their... Anyway, that's a different show. Oh, there's one more way they can fight, guys. With weapons! I've made armour jackets out of little gilets and Velcro and sponges. And we've got caveman clubs, swords, saws, hammers, whatever, another hammer. There's loads of inflatable things, Nerf guns, and there's a water gun in there somewhere. They can hit each other and beat each other up as much as they want. If they lose all 6 hit points, they're out, or it goes to a judge's decision. And don't forget, once again, you're judging on style, control, damage, and aggression. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for some LOLBOT Wars? Fantastic. If you can show that much love and enthusiasm for your first act tonight, he's one of the best acts. He was BBC Comedy World finalist earlier this year. In fact, he's so brilliant. He won LOLBOT Wars like 3 times in Edinburgh. One of my best friends. Please welcome Mr. Aaron Simmonds, ladies and gentlemen.
Style, damage, control and aggression. I've got 4 going on stage! Cool. Hey guys, how we doing? Alright?
Yeah!
Let's just calm down a little bit after that. I mean, I'm wearing a thermal top. I didn't realise it'd be fucking boiling in this room. I was just trying to take it off and put my shirt on back in the room, and then I got called on stage. It's a great start to the show, guys. Hello, I'm going to start some material now. Lovely to be here. No, it is lovely to be here. I'm just grateful to do comedy as my job, because there's a lot of jobs that I can't do because I'm a Jew. Like, for example, there's never going to be a Jewish James Bond, right? His grandma would tell the whole world exactly what he's going to do before he does it. Oh yeah, my grandson is Joseph Bonstein. He's going to give Vladimir a pen. It records everything he says. I don't know how it works, but it does. Grandma, stop telling the Russians what I'm doing. Well, maybe if you called me once in a while, we'd have to talk to the Russians. Guys, I've got Jewish Comedian of the Year to get ready for. This is why it's going to be a little Jew heavy. The other reason why it would never work is that, at the end of the day, right, when he saves the world, right, and he gets the girl, and she is a scientist, and is going to be the Queen of Denmark in a week's time, she still wouldn't be good enough for his mum. But my mum is actually like the complete opposite of that stereotypical Jewish mother of like, no one will ever be good enough for her son. For example, has anyone ever had an online dating profile made for them? Not a lot of people have. I don't know if you're aware of this website. It's called mysinglefriend.com. It was created. You're talking to each other. Has one of you been on My Single Friend? No. All right. You're just thinking of a friend who would be perfect for that website. Okay, great. But the premise of that website is that you can't really talk about yourself as like proudly as your friends can, right? If your friend describes you as an amazing person, that's fine. If you describe yourself as an amazing person, you're clearly not, right? And so, but what you may not realise is that there's a Jewish version of this website, okay? It's called myjewishson.com /doctor. And so, my mum set me up on a date on this website, and I went out with an American girl, right? And we got, the thing about online dating, the thing I don't like, is that because everyone puts on their best pictures, when you meet someone for the first time, you're a little disappointed, right? That's just human nature. And I'm not proud of this, guys. But I remember thinking, when I first met this girl, oh, she's a little bit bigger than I thought she would be, right? Terrible thing to think. But I could tell she was thinking the same thing and thinking, oh, he's slightly more in a wheelchair than I thought. I mean, it's not my fault. My mum made my profile, so it's not my fault that she chose this up. Okay, that's a new joke. I won't be saying it in the final, don't worry. So we went inside, right, and the girl said, would you like a drink? And I said, no, I'm driving. And she looked really confused and said, how do you drive? And now the answer to that is I have a lever on the side of my steering wheel that I control with my right hand. That is not what I told the girl. I told her that my car was voice activated. Funnily enough, she wanted to see how this worked. I'll be honest, so did I. So we went in, I offered her a lift home, right? And we got in the car, and I said, go. And I let go of the brake, and she went, oh my God, this is amazing! Yes, you're right, that accent is spot on. And then I slammed on the brake, and she went, oh my God, this is the best thing ever! Can I get this in my car? And I thought, no! I don't even have this in my car! But we carried on for a little while, and then she said, can I try? And to this day, I do not know what possessed me to say the following sentence. Sure. Yeah, give it a go. So she went, go. This sentence is worse than the one before. Oh, the car doesn't understand your American accent. I made her do an English accent, guys. She then went, go, and I let go of the brake, and she went fucking mental, right? And she's having the time of her life. I would do an impression for you guys, but I won't for two reasons. One, I do not have the vocal range to do that, and two, only dogs could hear it. So, super excited, and we're doing this for about 10-15 minutes, right? But when we get to her flat, I feel really guilty, and I've got to tell her the truth, right? So I told her, look, the lever's here, I was only mucking around. And she said, I completely believed you because my front door is voice activated. Tell you what, I'm going to go inside and slip into something more comfortable, and you just go up to the front door and say, open. There is nothing so sad as a guy in a wheelchair shouting open at a door in an American accent. Good. That story. That was fun on the way. I'm Aaron Simmonds. You guys are lovely. I'll leave this here.
The wonderful Aaron Simmonds, ladies and gentlemen! Please welcome the defending Edinburgh champion from LOLBOT Wars, the Edinburgh champion himself, it's Mr. Tom Mayhew, ladies and gentlemen!
Oh, hello, you're right.
Yeah.
Aaron started his set by speaking about the heat. I still have my coat on because man's not hot. I am Hart, so I'm going to take it off. It was just a joke. I'm sorry, Art is alive. How are we? We're right. Good. Pick a card, any card. There we go. I'm just having a bit of a clear out. Can you come to all of my gigs, please? I mean, it would be convenient for you financially, but it'd be good for me, so just consider it, you know. I never liked to have my school photo taken, because my parents would always buy photos of other children. My Aunt Mary still thinks I'm black. When I was younger, I went to a fancy dress party dressed as Harry Potter. I didn't wear a costume. I would dress as a child who wasn't supported financially or emotionally. Quite like a quiet, awkward person. Like I would say communication's my biggest flaw, but you know. Because anyway. No, what was that? Oh, I think we're getting invaded over here. Knock knock.
Who's there?
No one's over there. I should clarify, I am a comedian, I'm not just a sad man. I am partly a sad man, but it's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. You know, I'm sad off stage, and on stage, wow, look at me. Oh, I forgot to say, oh, it's great to be here. Because you have to say it anyway. What can I talk to you about? I also once went to a fancy dress party dressed as a man from the future. I just put my watch forward 5 hours. And then after being there for 5 minutes, I looked at it and went, oh, look at the time to go home. It's a really cheap costume, guys, I recommend it. That's my tip for you. What a lovely man I am. What was I going to talk to you about? I do a lot of things and I don't really know why I do them. Like some days, I like to drink water all night because I'm trying to save money. But then the next day, on a whim, I will spend £10 on Michael Jackson's Dangerous on cassette. You might say, Tom, it's a good album. It is, I've already got it. I've not even got a cassette player. Someone may as well have said, Tom, do you want Michael Jackson's Dangerous on a crisp? I do, yes please. How much? Oh no, it's not a thing, sorry. It's made up in my head. I've got to stop buying things for myself. That was a new add-on to that, I'll never do it again. Sorry guys. What was I going to talk to you about? Have a girlfriend? That was a joke. It's not now, I said that for years and it was true, but now I have got one and it's really fucking ruined my life. So the whole joke, gone, awful. I'm not very good at relationships, so the other day she said to me, you have beautiful eyes, and I panicked, so I said, oh thank you, I found them on the floor. I didn't find them on the floor. If I had no eyes, how would I have found them? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, I don't really know what to do with my life. It's not even a joke, I just want to throw that in. I mean, some people are laughing, so in a way it works. What else can I tell you? Oh, and end with a joke about, have you seen The Lion King?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. I find it weird, considering how joyfully Simba sings, I just can't wait to be king. He should be delighted when his dad died. And if you're upset by that, don't worry, it's just a circle of life. That's me, cheers guys.
Aaron, come back to the stage. It's time for a fight between Tom and Aaron, ladies and gentlemen. Right, how do you two want to fight this evening? Do you want to fight with words, wits, or weapons?
I mean, we've never not fought.
No.
You've never not
Weapons.
fought.
Yeah.
Weapons.
You're going straight for weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lemon heck, goodness me. Okay, I'm going to get everything. There are 2 jackets you can wear. There's one. Oh, just put that there. There's one for Aaron and there's one for Tom.
Right, I need to
Please
sit down
pick some
for
weapons. There you go, Tom. Oh, we get 3 weapons fights tonight. That's just going to be madness. If you want to just pop those on. Here's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. They can hit each other and do whatever they want, as long as no hands get placed on each other. That's assault. So they can hit each other with the other weapons as much as they like, or shoot each other with a Nerf gun. You have about 2 minutes in the ring. And you have 2 minutes to knock all 6 of the defence things off. Are you gentlemen nearly ready? Tom, you're fiddling with your watch more than I've ever seen you fiddle with your watch in my life.
Just aware of the fragility of time and existence.
Okay. You already lost it, that's fine. You just go over there, Tom. I'm going to get to the side for my own safety. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the real Robot Wars, when they start to fight, the audience join in as we count down to say 3, 2, 1, activate. We just get a practice run. 3, 2, 1, activate! That's beautiful, but make it even louder and more violent when these two start the fight. Aaron actually has got wheels, which may not help his movability in the fight. We just don't know. Start the music in a few seconds. It's that one. Ladies and gentlemen, if you join me, countdown. 3, 2, 1, activate! Okay, this is a man beating up another man in a wheelchair. Tom is hiding. Oh, he's going for a spin already. And he's hiding. He's just hiding behind the camera already. Tom, get out of there. You're going to lose star, he's rolled damage and aggression points. And this is going to get... Oh my god, he's knocked a few already. Audience, you are judging this on style, control, damage and aggression. Aaron is... Oh, Tom is going underneath. And Aaron is going up. Oh. He's got the right to fall. He's throwing the ball. He's cornered. There's nothing in the wall. It's a dark weapon slayer frame. Oh, he's just standing there. Oh my god, he's falling back and the camera's going to fall over. I'm going to just move that camera over here. Oh my god, he's escaped the chair and Tom is in a lot of danger now. Tom has stolen an wheelchair, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how much longer we've got. He's lost his glasses. Oh, he's stolen the glasses. This is a nugget.
I'm Jewish himself.
At this point, this has become a mugging, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to just call that to an end there. Cease. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for whatever that was. Goodness me. It's okay, we weren't filming lots of wars and crimes taking place.
Hey, crime! Hey, crime!
I wouldn't chant that in the streets. Now, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, that was a fight. And it's being judged on style, control and pushing by you guys. If you think Aaron won that fight, hold up the blue card at us. If you think Tom won that fight, hold up the red card. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make your judgment in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's a 5-0 knockout. It's 5 blues. Aaron is the winner, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome. You won in Edinburgh.
Yes, I did. The stage for something small in Edinburgh, right?
I know, but...
It feels like I'm fighting in a rabbit hutch. It's horrible.
Well, did you at least enjoy it?
Oh, I had a lovely time. I always enjoy fighting Aaron. I fully recommend it for anyone as a hobby or, you know... I believe it should be the Olympics, but yes, I couldn't have lost to a nicer man. So yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, no one goes home from LOLBOT Wars empty-handed, especially at the Christmas special. So there you go, Tom. Thank you for participating. I'm not paying the next time to give them gold chocolate coins. Tom Mayhew, ladies and gentlemen. Out of who's left between Joe Hart and Sindhu Vee, who do you want to fight?
I mean, I like an even competition, so I think a disabled Jew in an Indian woman is a good fight.
It's fighting talk. Aaron, we'll see you. We'll see you in the final round. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Simmonds. Please forgive me as I tighten the stage around you while you perform your next sets. Audience, please enjoy the next set because we're going to start the applause. Welcome our next act. Are you ready to welcome our next act? Please show your love for Mr. Joe Hart.
Hi, I'm Joe. Hello.
Hi.
I must probably introduce myself a little bit before I get into war. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I'm in the right place. In fact, I'm so much of a nerd that I've genuinely seen the new Justice League film more times than I've had sex with a woman. Genuinely true. Not that much of a big deal though, because I am gay. Seen it once. Not really for me. Being a gay nerd is sort of quite weird because there's sort of two completely conflicting parts of my personality. Like, when I go to parties, the gay part of me and the nerdy part of me always argue. Like, the gay part of me wants to sit in the corner and stare. No, the nerdy part of me wants to sit in the corner and stare around. And the gay part of me wants to go off and talk to people. You know, we argue, we fight, eventually we compromise, and we sit in the corner and talk to ourselves. It just leads to weird conversations. Oh my God, I love your shoes. Where did you get them? ASOS, you were there. Oh, right, so you want to come back to my house and fool around? Definitely. So the presently accurate version of my sex life, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I can share. We've already seen some violence. I think I'll shake all some very nice people. I haven't had sex in 9 months, ladies and gentlemen. Which, like, for straight people is quite a long time. But for gay people, it works kind of like dog years. I haven't had sex in 5 gay years. Silver lining is, though, 3 months I give blood again, so that's fucking worth it. You know, at least some fluids will be going somewhere. So that's quite rude. That's quite awkward. I did that joke in front of my mum once. That was very awkward. It wasn't a gig. It wasn't just like around the house. Mother, I have a joke for you. Why are you crying? So we're all sharing. It's we've been going as well. Being gay nerd, I'm also a stealth nerd. That doesn't mean I sneak up and pounce, don't worry. It's more that, like, I don't seem particularly kind of, I don't fit into particular, you know, sort of genres of what gay people are meant to be. Like, if you were walking down the street, you wouldn't see me and go, ah, okay! I mean, don't do that anyway, because that's, like, really homophobic. You're like, ah, Graham Norton! Not good. Graham Norton's excited. But I mean, in that, like, you know, people don't know that I'm gay. This mainly becomes awkward around homophobes, because homophobes are only ever truly, like, properly homophobic when there are no gay people around. They're very much the kindest of bigots. It'll start happening, you know, like, I'll be near an anus of homophobes, and they'll start. This is the collective now. Really annoys them. You know, they'll start homophobing, and I'll be there in stealth mode. Sort of cruising at gay 1,000 feet. Ooh, I like that. You know, I don't want to drop out of stealth mode, make it awkward for them. You know, I'm not a homophobe. Really, that entire bit is just there for that word. Because I like it. But the main place that it sort of crops up sort of being a stealth gay is that it gets awkward is at work. Because I find it difficult to tell people that I'm gay, and because I find it weird to just sort of introduce yourself and go, hello, I'm Joe, like the penis. It's a weird sentence. It makes it sound like I'm named after a penis called Joe. It's strange. So what I do now to get sort of around that, sort of bring it up, is I just drop my ex-boyfriend into conversation, and I'm like, oh my God, you went to Mallorca? Oh, me and my ex-boyfriend went to Mallorca. Oh my God, you eating a chicken miso salad? That was my ex-boyfriend's favourite salad. Oh my God, the way you breathe. He's not breathing anymore. Because he's fictional. The gay nerd's doing a set. Yeah, he was single. Who knew? It's a weird time. But I'm always fascinated by sort of like questions that I think reveal who people really are. Like those real questions that you can ask them and you get an immediate sense of who they are. I think we're going to do this. I'm going to ask you this question. It's my favourite question to ask people is, what's your favourite type of apple? Like if you're there and you want to buy an apple, what's your favourite type of apple to buy? Like a pink lady or a green, or a, not green, you can't just say green. Or like a, you know, like a Granny Smith, or like a Braeburn, or...
I went for Braeburn.
Braeburn, that's an honest apple. Yeah. Braeburn's in the house?
Yeah.
Oh, we got one just very friendly. Yes! And of course, Granny Smith's? Oh no, Granny Smith's! She's out today. What about pink ladies? Yeah, they're always here.
The first time I ever did this bit, I was down in Brighton, and I asked him in the front row, and I was like, what's your favourite type of apple? And he said, a pink lady. And at that point, I hadn't had a pink lady lamp, so I was like, oh, what's it like? Is it sweet? Is it crisp? Is it bitter? You know, what's it like? And he just went, it's a premium apple. I didn't realise that was a type of classism that existed. There had been Waitrose just going, excuse me, how much are the pink ladies? Honestly, sir, if you have to ask. You can't afford them. Those are the sort of things that people come up with. I'm actually I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave you on a story about, and I would like to preface this by saying this is 100% true. I'd love if I made this up. This is exactly the exchange that went when I came out to my mother. Which is a big part of any good person's life, to come out to their mother, to tell them who they really are. I decided to do this in the car, just to have a certain level of thrill. Just in case she veered off the road in shock. I was like, Mum, I've got something to tell you. And she went, what? And I was like, what is it? I'm finding it difficult to say. What? I'm gay. I was like, fuck, I thought you killed someone. And then followed up with, or worse, that you didn't want to go to university. Always nice to know my parents' priorities. Now that I've graduated, the killing spree can begin. And this particular night is the most apt that line has ever been. Hey, you guys are lovely. I've been Joe Hart. I'll come back and do some fighting in a bit. Bye.
Thank you, Joe Hart. I keep that love going for you next time. The wonderful Sindhu Vee.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
I started drinking at 4 today. I didn't drink a lot, but I'm at the age where I just have to have one gin and tonic at the wrong time. And it's all very kind of Ibiza in my head. So, when we do this thing, anyways, so, someone recently said to me, you never talk about politics on stage. You should. If somebody opinions, you never talk about politics. Well, I mean, at the very least, you could say something about the U.S. There's so much shit going on there. And I thought about it, and I thought, no, I can't joke about America. I used to make a few jokes, but I can't now because, well, I think the women in the room will understand this a little better, but I think the guys, maybe you as well. You know how when you have a group of friends, you're a group of like women friends, and one of you is prettier than the rest of you, and she's a bit richer, but she's also a bit thick? So when she's not in the room, you sort of make fun of her, partly because she's thick, but partly because it makes you feel better because, fuck her, she's richer and prettier. And then one day she starts dating a real creep, and it's kind of worrying, but you guys, you make a few jokes about him, and you're sort of like a little mean, and then kind of you're guilty, but you're like, she's richer, she's prettier, she'll be fine, fuck it. And then that same friend, one day she has a breakdown, and she shanks the creep in the eye and kills his dog, and her kids get taken into care. Well, then you can't make jokes, can you? No, that's why I don't joke about the United States anymore. So I'm not going to do any political material at all. I'm going to tell you about the fact that I'm not making political jokes, but I'm worried about politics. Everywhere I feel like politics is not going the way it should be going. Are you guys broadly in agreement with this?
Yeah.
Nowhere, you know what I mean? And it's just really been worrying me. And I was good, when I get very, very worried, because I'm a sensible woman in her 40s, I call my mom. Because I don't know what else to do. And I haven't, I called her, and actually it's surprising how long it took me to call her. And the reason I was hesitating was because my mom has gone from being old to being old. It's a different thing, right? Old, old is like, just like shit, like they forget their glasses and that kind of stuff. But old is when they start living in a force field of super bullshit old person logic, and it's impossible to penetrate. You know what I mean? And actually, the whole issue of age has been on my mind because some time ago, a comedian said to me, "I'm old, but no, he said I'm very young, but I feel old." It's not awful. I thought to myself, wait a minute. No, because I'm older. And I thought, wait, you're young and you feel old? That's not awful. When you're older and you feel young, that's awful. Because you know what? You have all these young person things you want to do, but you're worried that you don't have enough time or that it's not the right time anymore, Like for me, it's stuff like, what is a butt plug exactly? I don't know. but I feel like it's no longer the right time for me to find out. You know what I mean? And there's all this other young person stuff I want to figure out, but I can't because there's this thing sort of creeping up on me, and I'm running to get shit done. The thing is obviously death. And so I don't know. That's how that goes. So when a very young person says to, or when that young person said to me, I'm young but I feel old, that's like saying I'm really wealthy but I feel poor. Fuck you. Anyway, so that was the age stuff. But anyway, yeah, so older, so I called my mom. Now, one of the things about parents when they start operating in this old person thing is that they totally lose sight of the fact that even though they knew more than you at one point in your life, that is no longer the case. Their default position is, I know more than you. I know better than you. And it's not true. You know what I mean? I mean, for one thing, they're just old weird. I said to my dad, Dad, you need to keep your hearing aid on. He said, no, I cannot do that. The battery will finish. It's that force field of bullshit logic. But you know, with my mother, it's that thing of, no, I'm right. And at any cost, I'm going to show you that I'm right. So you can't win. Forget win. You can't. I'll give you an example. I was watching television with my mother, and a retrospective on music came on. And the band Queen came on. And we were watching, and my mother said to me, you know, Freddie Mercury is an Indian. So I was like, yeah. She said, Parsi, yeah, Parsi. It means he's a Zoroastrian. So I said, yeah. And then she said, and poor chap, he died of AIDS. Now, in my head, I was like, you know what? You don't have to tell her it's AIDS. You don't. There is no upside. You know what I mean? The guy is dead. It's fine. So I didn't say anything. And she said, you heard, AIDS. He died of AIDS. And you know how you get sucked into their shit, your parents? And I was like, it's AIDS. It's got an S. It's AIDS. AIDS. She said, huh? AIDS? It's not a many diseases, it's a one disease. What? I know more than her, but I'm not allowed to in her head, you know? So unlike a sensible person who would have left it, you know when your parents piss you off so much, you just end up going for it, against your better instincts. If you have ever gone to see your parents and thought, today I'm not going to argue, but when you leave you've argued, raise your hand. Yes, that's what it's like, right? So I got sucked into it, and I was like, you know what? It's S for plural, not for... No, I said it's S for syndrome, not for plural. She said, oh, you seem to know a lot about this disease. Are you trying to share something with me? So I said, no, I'm not. You know, yeah, Freddie died of AIDS. He died of AIDS. I'm laughing because you're laughing. I was not laughing then, I'll tell you that. I didn't turn on my watch. Am I done with time, sir? Yes, I am done with time. Well, I guess that's me.
Sindhu Vee, ladies and gentlemen! Not going anywhere, because it's time for Joe v. Sindhu, ladies and gentlemen. How would you two like to fight? Do you want to fight fisticuffs, words,
No,
or
because I just want to let him go first. And he can choose.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Okay, Joe, it's all on you. Do you want to insult each other, improvise on the boards, or
Improvise on the board?
Improvise on... Oh, we're going to the boards.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, it's about the wits. Here's how it'll work. I will hold up the board over here. They will come in when they've got jokes that they think they can make relevant or make up on the spot.
We've seen us at our well-written points. Let's see how this goes.
We're going to start with seagulls. They all want to come in on seagulls.
You know what seagulls reminds me of? It reminds me of the movie Finding Nemo, right?
Yeah.
And Finding Nemo always makes me think that if Nemo's dad had been an Indian dad, that fucking fish would have gone nowhere. He would have not gone to the end to see what it's like, blah, blah, blah. He would have been like, no, because if I ever come back, he will kill me. I always think of that when I think of seagulls.
So you're on seagulls! Joe, you're on seagulls!
Well, I'm a total theatre nerd. I'm a huge theatre nerd. In fact, I've seen The Seagull more times than I've had sex with a woman. So that is true.
Joel on Seagulls, guys, who wants to come in on Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Dwayne Johnson. I'm going to expand that to rocks.
Seagulls like rocks. And they are often on them. Dwayne The Rock Johnson with seagulls on his head would be a hell of a movie. Nemo's there, he's got him, he's holding him far away, the seagulls are trying to get him. I have nowhere for this bit to go. I was thinking about it, because we saw them earlier, and I was like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, all I could think about is he's in the new Jumanji film for some reason, because they thought, another piece of childhood to shit on. If you don't know what it is, basically they turned Jumanji into a video game now, instead of a board game, and they have the hilarious gag of, like, a thin, sort of, vacuous woman in the body of Jack Black, and he's like, oh, I'm so fat for the whole film. It's really mind-blowing comedy. I do not recommend it.
Just a review for the new film from Jonah.
Tune in to my podcast.
Do you have anything on Dwayne Johnson?
Well, no, I don't have anything on that. It's like a chat here. I just want to point out a few things. One is, he was in that movie with Kevin Hart, wasn't he?
Yes.
And so they're in that movie together. So that's kind of a... So it's like the Jumanji, which by the way I didn't know was a board game. I thought it was the movie with Robin Williams. But anyway, what do I know? So there's like a Jumanji movie, and then they've got that Kevin Hart and this guy thing. But then the thin woman in Jack Black's, he was in a movie where he... Remember when he wanted all his girlfriends to be skinny and was it Gwyneth Paltrow?
Shallow House.
Yes!
Shallow House. So it's basically a bunch of movies they've made, and they kind of stuck them into this movie, and they called it Jumanji. And now we're all like, there's 7 movies in here. It's not a joke. That's what I thought when he said that.
That's how cutting edge this show is, guys. We've got jokes about movies that haven't even come out yet. Like some detail. I'm going to invite you there to do jokes at this point.
Oh, no.
Kevin Spacey, if you've got anything. Let's just get, who gave us Kevin Spacey? That man there. What's your name, sir?
Jack.
Hey, Jack. Do you want to just do jokes about Jack instead of this one?
This is, I guess the thing is, it's possible to joke about Kevin Spacey. But the one joke that everyone's been telling on the circuit, which is not my joke, but I'm just going to say it because I can think of it, is it should be Kevin, give me some Spacey. Yeah, there's that. How many of you have seen House of Cards? He was so fucking weird in that. How did we not? Remember with the Secret Service guy? Where the guy's like, sir, are you okay? And he's like, and then, it was like, whoa, but he was so natural. I think he was trying to tell us something. And it was that he was gay. Kevin Spacey had been trying to tell us, right? That was his problem, wasn't it? I'm gay. That's what's been really hard for me to tell you I'm gay. That's the thing. That was his big thing. It's not a joke, again, it's just stuff.
Spacey, ladies and gentlemen.
Just in the, if he was called Kev Spacey, we'd already be kind of suspicious. Kevin has an air of like, oh, what a nice man. And then Kev, you're like, well, Kev, stay away. No, it's alright. So just call him Kev from now on.
Yeah, they both get up on the spot.
This is so tempting. Don't take it back. I just wanted to.
Well,
It's quite erotic.
but only one of them can go and fight Aaron in the final round in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. If you want Joe to go through to the final round, hold up the red card. If you want Sindhu to go through to the final round based on that round, ladies and gentlemen, please hold up the blue. Please vote in 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a split decision. It's close, but it's 3-2 to Sindhu. Ladies and gentlemen, Sindhu's in the final round. Thank you so much, Joe. Just say, Aaron, you'll make your way back up here. Because here he comes. Little speedy man, there he comes. Oh my. The fight's not started, doesn't count, you can get points for that.
Fuck that! That fucking counts!
Do you two want to fight with words, wits or weapons?
I mean, Cindy's already got...
It's pretty obvious where this is going, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? We know...
But if we do wits, do we have new topics?
No, you just insult each... Oh no, we've
Oh,
done
we insult
wits.
each other.
You can insult... I mean, you could do that while fighting, but you might as well fight as well. I mean, what do you want to do? Audience, do you want to see a battle of insults, impulse, or weapons?
Alright, fighting.
Weapons!
Alright, let's do it.
Oh, we're going for it.
I do not have the intelligence to think of 2 different things at the same time.
This is the final round, ladies and gentlemen. One of
So
them
wait,
will...
how do you know when you've won the fighting? I mean,
When you've knocked all 6 of his things off.
When I what? When I
You
won?
knock all 6 of the things on him off.
Oh, I thought thought these were for protection.
Well, they are kind of. They will protect you slightly, but
So you have
but in the same way that gilet will protect you slightly. That's broken already. It's not. It's fine. We'll make it easy. I'll just tear one off him. Because otherwise, oh, she's gone for the axe and the sword. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final fight. This is the final LOLBOT Wars fight of the year, ladies and gentlemen. We first did this in a pub here in February, and since then it's been, I've seen so many things. Oh no, my God, that's not fair. Just fiddling with you, mate. Just fixing you up. Right, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for the final fight? Yeah! Please join me in counting down. 3, 2, 1, activate! Oh my God, he's going most of these weapons are broken by this point in the show. Oh, and that's all of them at once! All of them at once! No, wow, cease! What a fight! That was a speedy little... that was like Election versus Aftershock. That was like Chaos 2 versus Dance on Kia. Oh, what a classic. Some classic reference. That was fun.
That was fun.
This is a brand new... I'm also going to be selling some Dragon's Den soon. It's a parenting technique.
Fantastic.
Oh, Sindhu, thank you so much for taking part. Did you enjoy that?
That was like one of the funnest bits I've ever done. I swear to God, all I could think was I gotta beat Aaron. I mean, like beat, not like beat, but like beat. It was fantastic.
Well, no one goes home empty handed LOLBOT Wars. This is a little Christmas thing. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, all our love to Sindhu Vee! Oh, but tonight's winner, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Simmonds. That was 2 ferocious battles you won there. Well done. How do you feel? How do you feel about beating up an older woman?
It's something that I've always wanted to do. First next, Sindhu. To be honest, I think I should be like doing a really awkward interview now, like they do at LOLBOT Wars. But what I want to say is that I feel like Razor because I've won like the Champions of Champions comfortably, but never won the official one, which is really gutting. But you know, always next year.
Always next year indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the final LOLBOT Wars show of the year. We'll be back. The next one I'm doing is Brighton Fringe, and then who knows who'll have us from there. It's uninsurable, this show. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately the trophy didn't arrive from Amazon on time, but you do get a big giant present. The part of the trophy, the winning, is you get to blow up yourself! Yeah! The budget is through the roof. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. It's a giant present, but I didn't have time to throw it up in the show because things. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much to my film crew, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to my film crew. Can I say a big thank you to everyone who contributed to the subjects tonight? A big thank you to our judges in the audience. A big thank you to all 4 of our acts: Tom Mayhew, Joe Hart, Sindhu Vee, and Aaron Simmonds. Because tonight we've seen that Aaron can rise up and overcome all of his genetic flaws. Because he's gone and won LOLBOT Wars. At this point in the Edinburgh show, there was someone taking the music for me, and there were closing credits already views up. There we go. No, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. I'm going back out again.